Hello and welcome you a sexy lot. As promised, in this video I was going to discuss my TIG welder. This beautiful example here, which was made by Artec. I believe it's a UK company and they are an excellent piece of equipment for the hobbyist workshop like myself. So I want to discuss how I use my TIG, what we do with the TIG. A very similar video to my last one, which was about the MIG, which is just sitting down there. That's getting quite a few views, so I'm quite happy about that. And hopefully this one will get some views as well. So if you're interested in a TIG and you're thinking about buying one, this could be the video for you. So why don't we start talking about this particular TIG that I've got in my possession. So number one, this is a TIG by Artec. It's the TIG 170 AC DC. Basically what that means is that it can weld metal and also aluminium, or aluminum, like the Americans say. I knew how to put that in. And basically it's an excellent piece of kit for fine welding. So if you want to build an exhaust system or some sort of oil catch tank and you want the welding to be beautifully like half pennied, I think they call it, or a stack of dimes they call it in America. This is the equipment you've got to use for that. Or oxyacetylene does the same thing, but oxyacetylene won't weld aluminium because it's all to do with frequencies and it's a bit too complicated for me. But that's how aluminium works. And what we will do is, after I've went through a discussion about the TIG itself, again, I'll set up a little welding thing and we'll weld a little bit of steel and I'll try and weld a bit of aluminium, but it's very, very hard to do. You have to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, skills and experience in to weld aluminium very well. That's why I get a good friend of mine to do my aluminium welding if I need it done, because he's been a welder for 40 years. But anyway, that's another story. So getting straight to this Artec. This is the Artec TIG 170 AC DC, and it's a digital one as well. So it's not what you call an old-fashioned analog one. It uses a lot of fancy electronics inside here, which makes it work unlike an old-fashioned transformer type, like my MIG is. My MIG's a transformer type welding apparatus, is where this is electronic. That's what it's called. That's what they call it, digital, I believe. And that's why it's a lot quieter and it works perfect. So getting back to the machine, TIG stands for tungsten inert gas. Now the tungsten bit is because instead of it feeding a bit of wire that goes off a reel, which creates the arc, it's actually it's a piece of tungsten metal. It's a steel rod basically, which I'm going to show you some in a minute. And you put a fine point on it for welding steel or other or stainless, but for aluminium, you have like a blunt end for aluminium for some reason. It's something to do with the frequency, which we'll get to later on. So for tungsten inert gas, now obviously the inert gas, once again, it needs a shield of gas to protect the metal when it's getting welded, because oxygen can damage the weld, like I discussed in the last video. And behind us is this time I've got a proper bottle of gas, which is the big green bottle here in the back. I don't know if you can see it. That's a proper full 100% argon, which is what you've got to use for TIG welding. Not so much for MIG, but definitely for TIG, which is what I've got in there. And that's a big, and I pay like £10 a month just for the bottle of that. The gas is quite inexpensive, to be fair, but you've got to rent the bottle, but it's only £10 a month, and that comes off my business anyway, so I'm not bothered. And that's the gas you use for this. Obviously it's the same thing where you have, you've got your normal earth strap as well. The earth strap connects to it as per usual, very similar to a MIG or an arc welding type of setup. TIG is exactly the same, but it's a bit more specific when it comes to the business end. And lo and behold, that is the business end. Look at that one. This is a TIG 26 torch, quite a common torch number. You do get them smaller, I'm assuming TIG 20s, TIG 15s, just means it's a lot smaller handle, but this is quite a big TIG. Just it's excellent quality. You can hold it. Got the little trigger on the back. Now, With this system, I did get the foot operated one as well, but you need a bit of practice to use the foot one, so I'm just sticking with the normal button TIG on the end. So this is the front. Now this is a bit special because this is the ceramic clear gas nozzle, I believe it's called, on the gas torch. It's just so you can see the job a bit better. And inside there, the gas is actually, it's got like it's like a cone of honeycomb, like sort of grid inside, which makes the gas come out on a nicer area and protects it all a lot better than a normal, just a standard tube, which I'll show you in a minute. So this is the tungsten part here, little tungsten tip. As you can see, it's quite a sharp end. That's where you just put it towards the job, press the button. Now this has got what you call it's a high start one, where you don't have to scratch the work. You just put it close to the work, press the button, and it instantly fires and hits the job. And then you're away. Wait for the pool of metal to pool. Then you add your filler rod, etc., and then you start moving along to weld the job type thing. So that's how I use my TIG with the ceramic glass on. So with this kit, I mean, I think this cost, I've had this about 5-6 years now, and I think this cost about £1,150. Quite a bit of money, but some TIG welders are 2,000 plus. But what I got with this was I got a big bunch of rods with it. I've got a couple of stainless, aluminium and standard steel rods. So I've got a big pile of them, which I've still got, obviously. And I've got a big kit for the nozzle itself. I'll try and show you this on the old camera. So this is the kit that I got. So these are the old-fashioned type of shields, unlike the nice clear ceramic one. These are the main nozzles that you put in, because these are different sizes for different size tungsten tips that you get. So you sort of build that up, put the tungsten tip inside there, and you build that up, and this is how the gas comes out. So this delivers the gas and also the electricity to the tungsten tip. That's what that does. And then these are your types of rods. So that's nice. That's a big beefy rod. Now you have two colours. I don't think it matters as much now, but I believe the white tipped one is for aluminium, and red tipped tungsten is for steel and other harder metals to weld. Now I do believe that tungsten, I may get this wrong or right, but tungsten has a little bit of radiation in it, I think I read somewhere. So you've got to be careful with that. So you get them ones. There's obviously really, really fine ones. I'll put this down just to show you. There we go. So you have a look at the difference in width of those rods. That's a big beefy one. So if you had on full power, 170 amps, you were welding a big, thick piece of metal, is where you can dial the amps right down to say, I don't know, 30, 40, and just you're doing tiny little lovely welds on stainless exhaust system or an aluminium catch tank or something like that. That's why they're thicker. Basically, more power can deliver and do deeper welding, and less power does more fine welding, I would guess. So that's the kit that I got with that, which came with the kit. And on the last video, you seen the welder me welding mask that I got the welding mask with. So this TIG welder will also do stainless. It'll also do aluminium, brazen. It does brazen, I believe. And when I was doing some lead welding, I did some lead welding once, and my brother was busy building a house, and he bought the oxyacetylene kit to do lead welding. And one of my welding friend, he said that I could actually weld lead with a TIG welder, which can you not? I didn't try it. Maybe he was taking the mick, I've got no idea. So this video was just to describe what this TIG welder is and where it came from, and just the business end and other bits and bobs. What we are going to do is going to set up another little welding bench again, like I did the last time, and weld a couple of bits together like the last time. A couple of bits of steel. I think I've got a bit of stainless lying about. We'll try a bit of stainless, and I'll also give aluminium a go. So we will shut this video down now, and I will be back in a second. Bye for now. Right, welcome back. So that took some doing, setting this up. Anyway, it's done. So we have got 3 things I'm going to try and weld. I've got these 2 bits of box section like I had the last time on my MIG welder. I want to try and weld them. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll move my phone because I need to see, because my eyes don't work very well. I've got to put my phone somewhere, like perfectly there, so I can see what's going on, make sure I'm in focus and everything. So right, that's the 2 little bits of square tubing that we had last week. So I'm trying to weld them 2 together on my little vise. Now I've done something new this week where I've got the spare vise and I've cleaned this back end up so it should get a good earth, because we had an issue last week with earths on here. I've got my clamp attached to the vise, so there should be no reason why I use my contraption to touch the metal. So because the earth is on the vise, this is all metal, this sits on top of there, in theory this should weld no problem at all, providing I get an earth, but we'll find out in a minute when I set this machine again. So that's my first thing. Then we've got 2 bits of stainless plate, a couple of bits of stainless plate. I'll just try and marry them back together again. One thing before I forget is with stainless and aluminium, you've got to give it a good wire brush with a stainless steel brush. You're not supposed to use like a normal wire wool, a wire brush, because that will cause, just give me 2 seconds, yep. So, because that puts impurities in the metal and you might get a poor weld. So stainless steel wire brush is what you need to get to clean your work, apart from steel itself, because that's steel. But stainless steel, aluminium, a stainless steel brush must be used. Right, that's one little bit of tip for you. So that's the stainless steel cubes. Then I've got a couple of bits of aluminium, which this is gonna gone wrong. I know that it is, because it's hard to do it. I can't do it, but I'll give it a go because this is what it's all about, trying to learn new tricks. So that's the plan first of all. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to do the easy ones first. Now I haven't used this TIG in, it's got to be 6 months. So if it looks like I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, it's because I've clean forgot. But this is why I like these live videos, just to prove that I don't rehearse anything first in case things go wrong, because that's why I want it to be genuine to what can happen. Right, so we'll turn this on and we'll go through some of the settings. Now with this TIG, it's amazing because it's got easy setup, so easy aluminium and easy metal welding, and it's just on this normal setup and then easy setup. So you've got AC easy setup, then you have DC easy setup. Now how to know the difference and how I do it is, if you pick AC, that means it's for aluminium, and DC is for all the rest. So AC, aluminium, DC for metal and other bits and bobs. This is like a little dial where we can dial the amps down. I think I dial this down to about 80 amps. My memory serves as correct. One thing I must mention, I've got my gases turned on, my earth is on. Now this regulator makes a funny noise sometimes when it's going. So if you hear like a funny ticking noise, it's the regulator, but it stops once I stop welding. Right, so we'll turn it on, providing this is going to work. Success. Right, so don't know if you can see that on the camera. Oh, you can. You can see some green lights there, and it is buzzing away a little bit, but I don't think it's too loud for the camera. So this is DC, so I want to go to, this is normal setup, I want to go to DC easy setup. So just press that button, bosh, done, it's ready to go. Now it's got, this is the amps, because this goes up to 170. Obviously this doesn't need to be 170 because I'm just welding a little bit of thin metal. Now I think I'm going to turn that down to about 80 for my first pass on the steel tubes. So you just get this dial, and if you don't know if you can see in the camera, but that's just going down. So I'm going to go down to 80. There we go, 80, and then that's it. You don't have to fiddle with any of this. Just don't touch it. The thing you can't touch is the amps. So if you start welding and all of a sudden it blasts a hole through the job, then you know your amps is too high. So you need to dial your amps down a little bit. But there's probably a way that you can go on the internet. You know, if it's 3mm steel, it's about so many amps. If it's 5mm steel, it's so many amps, and so on, so on, so on. So that's what I think I should is get a chart for doing that. But I don't do loads of welding, so that's why I do it on the fly, to be fair. So we've got gas is on, that's set. Important thing is welding rods. So I've got my welding rod thing. Now a tip you need to do if you decide to go down this route is whatever end is not going to go into the hot pool, what you do is you bend the other one. You bend that end, because the last thing you want to do is to poke someone's eye out with that. So it means now it's not going to poke my eye out, you see. So that's a little trick you need to do for welding rods. So before we set this away, basically all my gear will be on. I'll be touching the job like this, and then I'll just be feeding the rod as I go along to fill this void up with the metal, but the tungsten does the business. Now with the MIG, the camera was fine with that. Because this is a funny frequency thing, I'm not too sure what the camera may do, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? Right, so I'm gonna put this down for 2 seconds. Helmet's on. Like again, you should be able to hear us with this microphone on. Gloves on. Now I was going to use me Artec vented helmet, but the battery's flat and it's busy charging up, so I haven't got time to wait for that. So, right. So in theory, the job's there. In theory, I'm ready to go, to be fair. So we'll get the torch, get comfortable with that. Now what you usually do is put that down for 2 seconds, don't fall. You usually wrap, you get the as much slack as you can on somewhere, and you wrap that round like that. And that's usually, and you can put it on your shoulder like this. There we go. It's not working very well. There we go. That's what I wanted. In fact, I didn't like that, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is just like that. Anyway, right. So, like I said, I haven't used it for a while. Sorry, I should be looking here, man. Right. Sorry, I haven't used it for a while. So we'll give this a bash, see what's going to happen there. Well, sort of success. It's been a while since I've done this, mate. Eh, my word. Right, let's get something to pick this up with. La 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 la. They'll do. They'll do. Right. Oopsie daisy. Nearly lost the camera there. Right. Come back, come back, come back. Come back. There we go. Right, so it's alright for pit work. I started to, I think I missed on one side, and then I carried on. I carried on until I managed to get my flow right. I couldn't quite see the job for some reason. Maybe my mask was a little bit too dark. I'm not too sure with that. But that's basically TIG welding for steel. Now we're going to try and do stainless. So that's going to be hot. So I'm going to put that down there. Let's have a look, we'll get this on the job. Now I did clean, look, I cleaned that side and I cleaned that side. Right, now this is very, very thin, it's stainless, so I think I'm going to dial the amps down a bit because it's a lot thinner than that metal. So I think I might start it, say 70 amps, give that a go. Now you've got to use a stainless rod, and just so happens I do have a one. There's a one there, I think. Yep, that's stainless. So should we give that a go? Yeah, you're all in focus, everyone can see. Right, happy days. Put my glove back on. Let's see if I can do a better job with this one, with a bit of luck. And here we go. Nope, nah. Stop. Right. Straight away I could tell the power was far too high there, far too high. Started to melt the job straight away. So I'm going to turn that right down to probably, let's go for 40. I'm going to try for 40. Look, try that again, eh? Well, that was all right, wasn't it? Let's have a look here. I'm sort of happy with that. So I dialed that down to 40 from 70, so it made a massive difference, and you can see what happens here. So I sort of, it's one of my halos falling over. Never mind. So that's all right, isn't it? I'm happy with that. Now, one thing I'm going to show you is, which is a good thing, bad thing. I think even maybe even that the amps might have been still too hot because it's actually pulled all the way through to the other side. But that's not a bad thing because that'll be absolutely solid. So I reckon I could have turned that down to probably 30 or maybe even 25 amps to get that beautiful stainless steel sort of weld, to be fair. So I'm quite happy with that. It's been ages since I've had a go doing that anyway, so that's not so bad for a hobbyist. It's not too bad. Right, so we'll put that down there because that'll be scanning. Right, aluminium time. This is the nemesis of welding. Aluminium, the nemesis. We've got them together. There we go. Now, what you do need to do with this is you've got to give it a wire brush. So I'll give that a wire brush of some description. Phone's dropped. Because on aluminium there's an oxide on the top of aluminium. It doesn't corrode, but it gets oxide on it because of oxygen in the air, and that actually affects the weld in aluminium. So you've got to scratch. Whoa! You've got to scratch that oxide off. which is what I'm doing now. And my battery is starting to get a bit low, but I think I should be able to finish this off. So we'll scratch that now. Now, I think I'm supposed to change the tip in the gun, but I cannot be bothered. So I'm just going to give it a go, see if it works. Got no idea if it is or not. So let's have a look at that. Now, with aluminium, the machine changes the frequency, so it makes a crazy, like a buzzing noise, like a buzz, and it's weird. You should be able to hear it, I think, through the video. But like I say, it's aluminium it's a very, very hard thing. This might totally fail. If it does, I told you so, right? So back in the machine, normal setup, aluminium setup. Now it's very, very thin, so I'm going to start with a low power setting. Let's go to something like 90. Now I'll know pretty straight away if it's not enough power, because the frequency hits the aluminium and then it changes the molecule. It's funny how aluminium welds. It's the weirdest thing. And it doesn't change color. It doesn't go red. Doesn't go any sort of color. It just starts to melt in front of your eyes, and it's the funniest thing when you try and weld aluminium. This is why it's so hard. I mean, if this works, I'll be amazed. So we'll give this a go. Right, aluminium rod this time. Well, there we go. Perfect little bit left. Straighten that out a bit. Put a little hook on that. There we go. That's it. All right. That's all we need. Right, where's my gun? Right, this is going to be hilarious. This right here we go. Right. Let's see if this is going to work. What do you know? Well, what's the chances of that? That's all right, isn't it? I think another thing as well with aluminium, because it's such it's easier to weld a bigger chunk of aluminium than it is a thin bit, because the heat, as soon as you put the heat in, it starts to run away with itself, and then the end of your aluminium job just falls off into a clump. It's like crazy how aluminium welds. But for not doing this for months, I'm really happy with that. And I tell you it is. I mean, I haven't gone. Is that going to be hot? Yes, it is. Yes, my fingers is on fire. Fingers is on fire. I need to get 2 seconds. I need to get another pair of pliers just so I can show you. There we go. Right, I'm back. Let's have a look here. So, that's got a hole, that's canny strong. Look at that. I can feel it bending, but I'm happy with that. That would definitely stick. Should we try and break it? It's not gone like. Look at that. That is definitely stuck, without a shadow of a doubt. Ha ha! Chuffed to bits. Right, I'll put that on the floor because that's scadding as well. Phew, this making videos is it's a bit tiring, like. Anywho, right, let's take this off. Turn that off. Let's turn this off. This is a little cooling fan. Give it a couple of seconds. There we go, marvellous. Whew, right, well, that's it for another week. I really appreciate every view that I get. I appreciate every single comment that I get. I don't get many comments because I'm a very young channel. But if there's anything you want to ask us, any questions, anything you would like us to try, any sort of hobbies, feel free. I need some, connection with me viewers. I think I get on average a couple of hundred views per video. You know, it's nothing compared to some of the super duper ones, but I'm not bothered. I do this because I've got the time to do it, and I really, really enjoy it. So once again, there will be a little block box on one of the sides with my latest video, and there'll be my little round circle with my little workshop picture on. You hover across that and subscribe, because subscriptions is rather important. So once again, my name is Aidan. This is Featherstone Hobbies, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.